Hello and welcome back to the final review exercises. These are the solutions for the chapter 4 part of the review, starting with number 25 here. It says, write the following numbers for number 25 and number 26 in scientific notation. So that means we're going to change these from 678,100,000 into a shorter way to say that, by moving the decimal place until we have just one number in front of the decimal. So for this one, we just moved it 8 times. So we can say that's the same as 6.78 times 10 to the positive 8. If we multiply 6.78 by 10 8 times, we get back to the original amount of the number. And that's scientific notation for number 25. And number 26 is a very small number, whereas number 25 was a very big number. So when we do the exponent on the 10 on this one, we're actually going to have a negative to make that number smaller. But first, let's move our decimal until we get one number in front of the decimal place. Just moved that 5 times, so we'll have 3.6 times 10, because a small number will be to the negative 5th. And that's all you have to do for 25 and 26. Numbers 27 through 30, we're going to simplify what's already there. So we'll start with 3 to the negative 8th times 3 to the 7th. Now before we grab a calculator and evaluate that out, we can do some simplifying. Because we have the same base here, we can add the exponents. Negative 8 plus 7 is negative 1. So this becomes 3 to the negative 1. Now negative exponents make division instead of multiplication, so we're going to rewrite this as 1 over 3 to the positive 1. 3 to the positive 1 is just 3, so my final answer is 1/3 after simplifying what was there already. Number 28 has a fraction inside a parenthesis, some exponents inside, and an exponent on the outside. So let's go ahead and distribute that negative 2 exponent to everything inside. So we'll have 2 to the negative 2, a to the 2 times negative 2, which is negative 4, 3 to the negative 2 on the bottom, and b to the negative 8, multiplying 4 times negative 2. Whoops, lost my negative. Everything with a negative exponent, just like on number 27, can switch places. So everything on top is going to come down to the bottom, and everything on the bottom is going to come up to the top. And once they do, they now have positive exponents instead of negative. And I can now, last step, simplify the exponents that I know. All right, 3 to the 2nd power, you can put that in the calculator or just know it. 9, b to the 8th, over 4, a to the 4th. There's nothing else I can do to simplify it, so it's done. All right, number 29, we look at this one. There's some things that we can simplify before bringing in the 3. I'm going to scroll down a little bit. Simplify what's already there. So just looking at the numbers, I'm going to split this up to numbers, x's, y's, and z's. Okay, 4/8, that simplifies to be 1/2. Subtracting my exponents, since I'm dividing, 4 minus negative 3 is x to the positive 7. 4 minus negative 3 becomes plus, so that's 7. Y divided by y is just 1, so I don't have to write that anymore. And there's nothing to do with the z's left, so I'm just going to leave them where they were on the bottom. Now I've simplified inside. I'm going to bring in the 3 to every single part on the top and the bottom of this fraction. So I have 1 to the 3rd, x to the 7 times 3, which is 21, over 2 to the 3rd, z to the 2 times 3, which is 6. And just like on the last problem, I'm going to evaluate the numbers that I know. 1 to the 3rd power is just 1, so I don't even have to write it. On the bottom, I have 2 to the 3rd power, which is 8. Z to the 6 is my final answer. Number 30. Again, I'm going to kind of separate these out. I have a to the negative 2 on the bottom, and put the g's together and the m's together. A to the negative 2, because the negative exponent can come to the top, so I'll have a to the positive 2 on the top. G to the 4th minus g to the 1 will just be g to the 3rd on top, and then I'll have over here 3 minus 7, which is m to the negative 4. Because it's negative, I'm going to bring it down, and it'll become positive. A to the 2nd, g to the 3rd, and m to the 4th on the bottom. Final answer on those simplifying problems. If you need any review on those, I recommend going back and looking at the exponent properties from chapter 4. Review each of those rules. Now number 31 says evaluate, which means plug in the value, right? And I always plug it in with parentheses so I don't lose any negative signs along the way. So 3 times negative 2, because negative 2 is x, to the 3rd power, minus negative 2 to the 2nd power, minus negative 2, and then our plus 9 here at the end. So I just plugged in negative 2 wherever I saw x in the original polynomial. Now I'm going to simplify it using the order of operations. Exponents first. So I have 3 still out front. Negative 2 times negative 2 times negative 2 is negative 8. Okay, minus negative 2 times itself is positive 4, minus a negative will give me a plus 2 here, and I still have plus 9. Now let's multiply what's there. 3 times negative 8 is negative 24, minus 4, plus 2, plus 9. I'm just going to go left to right, and I'm just going to plug that in my calculator. I get negative 17 for that. Let's scroll down. We got some multiplication and division to do for the rest of chapter 4. So you may have learned something called FOIL or the box method. It's different ways to think about this distribution. I'm going to start with just FOIL for this one. So I'm going to multiply my first two terms, 6x times 5x squared. That'll give me 30x to the 3rd. 6x times negative 3y is negative 18xy. My middle two terms, negative 2y times 5x squared, is negative 10x squared y. You can write that in any order you want. And last, I have negative 2 times negative 3, which is positive 6. Y times y is y squared. Now in this one I don't have any like terms, so that's just done the way that it is. You want to rearrange it in any way you can. All right, 33, because of this squared, we got to write it twice. So I'll write these down here twice. Multiply 5x to the 3rd times itself, you get 25x to the 6th. 5x to the 3rd times 7x, negative 35x to the 4th. And I'll get that again from my middle terms. And the last term is negative 7x times itself, so positive 49x squared. Then I have these two here in the middle that are like terms. And there you go. 25x to the 6th minus 70x to the 4th plus 49x squared. Number 34, for this one, I'm going to go ahead and do a box. If you're not familiar with that, I'm just going to write one of the polynomials along the side and the other one along the top and multiply them in each box. Multiply each term. So t squared times t is t to the 3rd. Negative 3t times t is negative 3t squared. and t to the negative 4 is just negative 4t. On the bottom, let's multiply each of those by 3. 3t to the second power. Negative 3t times 3 is negative 9t. And 3 times negative 4 is negative 12. So let's look for any like terms. We have t to the third power. Oh, those ones cancel out, so we don't have those anymore. Negative 9 minus 4t, negative 13t. And my last term is negative 12 on number 34. Ooh, 35 is a nice one where if we multiply it out, you'll actually see that our middle terms are going to cancel out. It's going to be real nice. So number 35, 2h times 2h is 4h squared. 2h minus 3, or times minus 3, is negative 6h. In the middle here I'll have plus 6h. And at the end, positive 3 times negative 3 is negative 9. Those are just 0. So final answer, 4h squared minus 9. Number 36 down here is our only division problem. Let's go ahead and do that. We're going to divide by this monomial, right? Monomials have one term. So I'm going to divide a trinomial by a monomial, and I'm going to give each their own 9x to the third here. Each their denominator. And I'm going to simplify each of these three fractions. And the first one, 18 divided by 9, kind of like we were doing up there on problems 28 and 29. 18 divided by 9 is 2. And then we'll subtract the exponent, 6 minus 3, so that's x to the third power, minus 27 divided by 9 is 3. X to the fifth minus 3 is 2. Okay, now on our last one, it's not going to be a real nice division because we're going to have a fraction. 3/9 simplifies to be 1/3, and you can just leave it like that. And then x third divided by itself is just 1, so we don't have to write it. Final answer, 2x to the third power minus 3x squared minus 1/3. And this has been Chapter 4 from the final review for Math 100B. Look them over, try it out some more, and watch the next video for Chapter 5.